Hi, I'm here today with Congressman Jim McGovern. Thank you for joining us today. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about what your district, everybody gets redistricted every 10 years, and your district is seeing some changes. And then I also wanted to talk about some of the accomplishments, some of the grants that are being made that you've helped usher into the district that exists now. So what is your district going to look like compared to what it is now?
Well, it's not going to be dramatically changed, but over the years, my district has been dramatically changed. When I first got elected back in 1996, I had what they call the Ivy League district. It went from Princeton to Dartmouth.
I
And
was
it
going to say, didn't
included
it go down to Fall
River,
River in that
yeah,
area?
in Fall River, right? And now my district is much more compact, but it's big because some of the towns don't have big populations. I've lost a few towns, but I've gained a few as well. Going out toward the east, I picked up Southborough and Ashland and Holliston and Hopkinton have been added. Um, uh, and west, right now I already go out to Northampton and Amherst and Greenfield, but I go even further now to Shelburne Falls, Williamsburg.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of other towns out there. So it's just got a little bit longer. But you know what? I'm looking forward to to get reacquainted with some of the towns I used to represent a long time ago, and I'm excited about learning about new communities. Makes this job interesting, and this is a beautiful state, and it's a very diverse state, and there's a lot to see, and when you run for office, you really get to know the nitty gritty of
Sure.
every single community. So I'm happy, and now that the pandemic seems to be trending downwards, I have the opportunity now to start meeting in person with more people, which I welcome, because as much as I like, it's been great to have Zoom. I think, like a lot of people, I'm a little bit zoomed out.
Yes, yes.
I want to get back in person with people.
That's great. Let's talk a little bit about some of the you recently announced some of the funding initiatives in the district. Can we focus on two or three of those and talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm really excited about is some funding we just got for a project called the Food Hub that will be located in Worcester Union Station. It's going to be a place for our local farms and local producers to be able to bring what they produce, and people can go here and be able to buy local, which I really think is a good thing to do. We want to help our local farms. We want to help our local businesses. But in addition, there'll be commercial kitchens that will be installed, and this will all be at Union Station in Worcester, and it will allow people, who have great ideas, like for old family recipes that maybe you think would you'd be able to sell
Sure.
on the open market but you don't have the capital to be able to set up a commercial kitchen or to open up your own business. You can go here and you can actually make and produce your product and then get it out to market. And already it's been the location is still being put together, but the concept is already in place, and a lot of people are taking advantage of it and are getting their businesses off the ground, some to the point where they're graduating and opening up their own independent businesses. So it's a way to help people who have good ideas to be able to succeed. So local food and a place to an incubator for new businesses in the food arena. And we were able to get federal funding to be able to make sure that that's a reality. It's not just a concept. And there are a number of other projects all throughout the state that we've been able to get some federal money basically earmarked for specific things. The other thing is we passed this major infrastructure bill, the biggest investment in infrastructure in our history. And that will enable a lot of transportation and road and bridge projects and broadband projects to get off the ground. In Shrewsbury, I'm looking at this Route 20 project that we've been we've been trying to get going for a while, and I just talked to Representative Hannah Kane about it. There's no excuse now for the state not to go ahead with that project, because the state has received billions of dollars in federal money specifically to make sure that these projects get off the drawing board and they get completed. We have bridges in my district that are older than most of the other states in this country. Some of them, are on the danger list, and yet we're still driving over them. We have an opportunity now to fix that. We're an old state. We have old infrastructure. Let's fix it. We now have the money to do it, and that's good for our local economies. It's jobs, all good stuff. In addition, I want to see more rail service out of Worcester Union Station, including an east-west connection. And I'd like to be able to get Amtrak to be able to start advertising trips to New York City from Worcester. I mean, we're the second largest city in New England. This region, is one of the most heavily populated in New England. I mean, we ought to be able to have easy access to various hubs in the region, not just by rail, also by air as well. And so we're big supporters of the regional airport.
Sure. No, I think the infrastructure, it's been so long to get passed on the federal level, so it's been a grand thing to see it finally work.
I don't really understand why it's been so difficult. People say, oh, we ought to invest in infrastructure, and then when you bring a bill with some real money in it, people are like, oh, I don't want to spend the money. Yeah. Well, if you can show me how to repair a bridge for free, I'm all ears. But you can't.
That's right.
And every other week, you're reading about another incident where a bridge collapsed that people were going over. Yes. So this is a public safety issue as well, but it's also an engine for economic development. So transportation and infrastructure is incredibly important, and we finally, are not talking about infrastructure weeks or infrastructure summits. We're talking about an infrastructure bill with real resources that can help places like Shrewsbury and Worcester and Westboro. I mean, I go right down the list. Everybody can benefit from this.
Yes, as you said, bridges in this state and around the country are in really tough shape. They've been neglected for so long. Well, thank you. That's some good positive news to talk about, and I appreciate that. And thank you for spending a few minutes with us. And we'll be right back.